So we're moving swiftly on to issue number 28, which is the Coco Pink Paper Cut Square. What a mouthful. So this one only uses 2 colours of yarn. We've got the hot pink and we've got the white. Just remember that the instructions that we originally received with this pattern on were wrong. So I haven't received any new ones yet, unfortunately. So I have printed them off from an email that we did get sent. So if anyone likes to follow along using the pictures or using the instructions, you will have to use the revised ones. Otherwise you will end up going wrong, unfortunately. So we're starting off, and the whole way through this square is with the hot pink, so no colour changes and hardly any ends to weave in at the end, which is great. We've got the white there because that's just obviously for our border, which we'll add at the end. So we're starting off with a slip knot on our 4mm hook with the hot pink yarn, and we'll go from there. You're going to have to excuse my nails today, guys. I've just been cooking and using spices, so they look a bit grim, but just forget that, okay? So, slip knot on the hook, and we are going to start off chaining 4. So, there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. We want to make a ring, so we're going to go in through our first chain. So remember to count back 4, pull up a loop because we're going to make a slip stitch. So pull that one straight through. We're then going to chain 2, 1 and 2, and then we're going to do 1 treble into the ring. So you want to yarn over. Remember to pull those apart to find your centre. Go in through your centre. Pull up your loop so we can do our treble. We've got 3 on the hook, so we're yarning over and pulling through 2, and then we're yarning over and pulling through 2. After that, we are chaining 2, 1 and 2, and we're then going to treble 2 together. So yarn over and in through the circle or hole in the middle, so you've got 3 on your hook, yarn over and pull through 2. You then want to yarn over again, in through your centre, pull up a loop so you've got 4 on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through all 3. We're then chaining 2. And we need to keep going with those treble 2 togethers and 2 chains 7 times. So yarn over through the centre and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over through the centre, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through all 3, chain 2, 1, 2. So we've done that twice, and we're going to make sure that we've got treble 2 together, 2 chains 7 times. So we've done 2, I'm yarning over, back into the centre, pulling up a loop, so I've got 3, yarning over, pull through 2, yarn over, back in through the centre, pull up a loop, so I've got 4, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through all 3, chain 2. So I've done that 3 times. Yarn over in my centre, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over through the centre, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3, chain 2, and I've done it 4 times. Through the centre, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over through the centre, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 3, chain 2, and I've done it 5 times. Yarn over in the centre, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over through the centre, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3, chain 2, and I've done it 6 times. I just want to move that along because there's not much of a gap there now. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over through your centre, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3, chain 2. And I'll just check that I've got 7, because obviously we did the 2 chains at the start and then we did a treble, so we should have 7 more clusters. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, so I've done enough. We then want to join with a slip stitch into the first 2 chain space. Now the first 2 chains that we did are just here after these, so we are going to go into this space and do a slip stitch. We're then going to move on to round 2, so we're chaining 2, 1 and 2. We want to do 3 half trebles into the same space, so that's the space directly below the chains that you've just made. So we're yarning over and going into that space and pulling up a loop so you've got 3 on the hook, yarn over and pull through all 3, and there's your first half treble. Yarn over into the space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 for your second, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3, and you've done your 3 half trebles. We're then going to do 4 half trebles to each of the next 7 spaces with no chains in between. So yarn over into your next space, pull up a loop, yarn over, so I've done 1 half treble, and then 2, 3 and 4, and now I'll move on to the next space. So there's 1, 2, 3 and 4. Into your next space, 1, 2, 3 and 4, into my next space, 1, 2, 3 and 4, into my next space, 1, 2, 3, oh that one's caught, I'm going to do that one again, 3 and 4, and then 1, 2, then 3 and 4. I'm just going to check how many of them I'm done, because it says that we need to do 4 half trebles in the next 7 spaces. So we started off with our 3 half trebles in this one, and then we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So I've got 4 more half trebles to go, and it's the space just in here. So there's 1 half treble, 2, 3 and 4. Then we're going to join with a slip stitch into our second chain. So we've got our 2 chains just here, and we want to go in through the second one and pull that through and straight through, and that is the end of round 2. On to round 3, and we need to start with chaining 2. So 1 and 2. We're then going to do a treble into the second chain from round 2. So yarn over, and the second chain is this, sorry, it's not focusing very well today, is it? So the second chain is the stitch at the bottom of the chains that we've just made. Can you see this line coming up here? That is where we slip stitched into, and we slip stitched into the second chain from the last round. So we want to do our next stitch into this diagonal here. So I'm going to go into this one. So we're doing a treble into that one. So I'm going to go straight in through that one, pull up a loop, so I've got 3 on the hook, yarning over and pulling through 2, yarning over and pulling through 2, and there's that treble. So after that stitch we need to chain 1, and our next stitch won't be going into the one after because we need to skip a stitch, so we're going in the one after that. The stitch that we're going to be doing next is one that I've not done before, and it's called a 2 treble cluster. It's basically exactly the same as the treble 2 together that we've just done, and I can't show you the difference between the two because I'm not going to complicate things. I'm not going to tell you why they're different. If we ever come across a treble 2 together in the rest of the pattern, then I will show you the difference, but for now I'm just going to leave it as it is. So we're yarning over, we're not going in the first stitch, remember we're skipping a stitch. So we're going in this one and pulling up a loop, so we've got 3 on our hook. We're yarning over and pulling through 2. We're yarning over again and going into the same stitch, pulling up a loop, yarning over, pulling through 2, we're then yarning over and pulling through all 3. We then want to chain 1. We're going to repeat that the amount of times it says in the magazine under row or round 3. I'll show you a couple more and then I'll continue off camera so I don't give too much of the pattern away due to copyright. So remember to skip a stitch and into the next one, and we're pulling up a loop, so we've got 3, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over, in through, pull up a loop, so you've got 4, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through all 3, chain 1. I'll show you once more. Skip a stitch and into the one after, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over into the same stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3, chain 1. If you continue that going round until you've got the amount it says in the magazine, I'll show you how to finish off the round at the end. After I've done my last cluster, you need to chain 1, and then we're finishing off with a slip stitch into the first 2 chain space. So our first 2 chain space is here, so we want to go in through this one. So these are the revised notes apparently, and yet there's still an error. It says that after we've done that 1 chain, we need to join with a slip stitch into the first 2 chain space, but we've only chained 1 between each of these clusters, so it's a 1 chain space, not a 2 chain space. So there's still an error there. I'm going to refer back to the rest of the pattern and I'll make a decision on where we're going to go from here. So I was hoping by looking at the instructions alongside the pictures that it would clear things up, but it doesn't because it doesn't mention it. So my decision is, rather than chaining 1 after we've done that glass cluster, is to chain 2. If we chain 1, it's going to fold up like this. So we need to chain 2. We're then going to go into that gap through there, into that space, and do a slip stitch, and then we've still got a gap between those stitches, other than if we chained 1 they would fold over and there would be no gap there. So that's how I'm doing round the end of round 3 anyway. Round 4 we are chaining 2, 1 and 2, and then we want to do 2 half trebles into the same space. So we're yarning over and we're going in the space at the bottom of the chains and pulling up a loop, so we've got 3. We're yarning over and pulling through all 3, so there's 1 half treble. We then need to do another into the same space. We're then going to do 3 half trebles into each of the next 15 spaces. So yarn over into your next space. There's 1, 2, and 3. So we've done that once. 1, 2, and 3. There's twice. 1, 2, and 3. I've done it 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. There's 4 times. 1, 2, and 3. Is that 5? I've lost count already. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, and that's 6. 1, 2, oh dear, 3, and that's 7. 1, 2, 3, and that's 8. 1, 2, 3, and that's 9. 1, 2, 3, and that's 10. 1, 2, 3, 11. 1, 2, 3, 12. 2, 3, there's 13. 1, 2, 3, that's 14, and 1, 2, 3, there's 15. We're then going to join with a slip stitch into the second chain. So we've got our 2 chains just there. So we'll go into our second chain, pull up a loop and pull it straight through. Moving on to round 5, we're chaining 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we want to do a double treble into the second chain of round 4. Again, it's the one that we've just slip stitched into, so if you pull on those chains we've just done, you'll notice the angle of that stitch coming up the back there. So we want to yarn over twice, and we're going into that space at the bottom of our chains and pulling up a loop. We've got 4 on our hook. We're yarning over, pulling through 2. We've got 3 on a hook, yarning over and pulling through 2. 2 on a hook, yarning over and pulling through the last 2. So after our double treble, we want to chain 2. So 1 and 2. We then want to do a treble into the next half treble stitch from below. So yarn over, and into the next stitch we're doing a treble. So pull up a loop, so you've got 3 on your hook, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. We're then chaining 2 again. We want to skip the next 2 stitches, so these 2. So we'll work into the third one, and we're doing a double crochet into each of the next 5 stitches. So skip 2 into this one, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2. So we've done 1 and we need to do 5. Into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2. We've done 2. There's 3, 4 and 5. We're then chaining 2, 1 and 2. We're skipping the next 2 half trebles and we're doing a treble into the 3rd. So yarn over, skip 2 stitches into the 3rd, pull up a loop, so you've got 3, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2, chain 2, 1 and 2. We're then going to do a 2 double treble cluster into the next half treble. So yarn over twice, into your next stitch, pull up a loop, so you've got 4 on the hook, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over twice, into the same stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2 and then pull through all 3. We're then going to keep repeating exactly what we've just done. So we want to chain 2, so 1 and 2, and then a treble into the next half treble, so yarn over into your next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 and pull through 2. We're then going to chain 2, 1 and 2. We're going to skip the next 2 stitches and go into the 3rd, and we're going to do 5 double crochets. So into this stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2, then into the next stitch, there's 2, into the next, there's 3, there's 4 and 5, chain 2, 1, 2, and we're skipping the next 2 stitches and going into the 3rd with a treble. So yarn over into that 3rd stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2, chain 2, and then we're going to do the 2 double treble cluster into the next stitch. So yarn over twice into your next stitch, pull up a loop, so you've got 4, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over twice into that same stitch, pull up a loop, so you've got 5, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, and then yarn over and pull through all 3. And now we're back to the beginning again. So chain 2, 1 and 2, a treble into the next stitch, so pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2 and chain 2, 1, 2. We're then going to skip the next 2 stitches, go into the 3rd and do our 5 double crochets. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, chain 2, 1 and 2, skip the next 2 stitches and to treble into the 3rd, so skip those 2 and into your 3rd we're doing a treble. So yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2, chain 2, 1 and 2, and then 2 double treble cluster into the next. So yarn over twice, into your next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over twice, into the same stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through all 3. We then want to chain 2, 1 and 2, and then we need a treble into the next stitch. So yarn over, pull up a loop so you've got 3, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2, chain 2, skip the next 2 stitches and go into the third, and we're doing our 5 double crochets. So pull through 2, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. We're then chaining 2, 1 and 2, skip the next 2 stitches and a treble into the one after. So we're skipping these 2 and we're going into the last one there. Pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, then pull through 2. We're then chaining 2, and we want to join with a slip stitch into the first 2 chain space. So our first 2 chain space is this gap in here. So we're going to go in through that one, pull up a loop and pull that one through, and we should now have a square. So we've got 2 more rounds to go before the border. We're chaining 1, and we want to do 3 double crochets into the space, which will be our corner. So into here, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through both. There's 1, 2 and 3. We then want to do a double crochet into the next treble. So our treble's here. We want to go into the top of that one and do a double crochet there. We're doing 3 double crochets into the next space. So there's 1, 2 and 3. We want to do a double crochet into each of the next 5 stitches. So you've got your 5 here, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So go in through this one. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. 3 double crochets in the space. 1, 2 and 3. A double crochet into the treble stitch here. And then 3 double crochets into the next space again. 1, 2 and 3. Now we need to chain 2. We then need to do 3 double crochets into the next space, which will be this one here. So there's 1, 2 and 3. A double crochet into that treble stitch there. 3 double crochets into your next space. 1, 2, 3. A double crochet into each of the next 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 into the next space. 1, 2 and 3. 1 into that treble. 3 into your next space. 1, 2 and 3. We're at the next corner, so we need to chain 2. 1 and 2. You can turn it now. 3 into your next space. 1, 2 and 3. 1 into the treble. 3 into your next space. 1, 2 and 3. 1 into each of the next 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. 3 into the next space. 1, 2 and 3. 1 into the top of that treble. 3 into your next space. 1, 2 and 3. Chain 2 for your next corner. 1 and 2, and then into your next space we want 3. 1, 2 and 3. 1 at the top of that treble. 3 into your next space. 1, 2 and 3. 1 into each of the next 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. 3 into your next space. 1, 2 and 3. 1 into the top of that treble. 3 into your next space. 1, 2 and 3. We now need to chain 1. We're at the final corner now, and we want to join with a double crochet into the first double crochet that we did. So if you can see, we've got 3 stitches into that first space. So we're going to go into the first stitch that we did, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through both, and we're now on to the last round. So chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and then we're going to do a treble into each of the next amount of stitches that it says in the magazine. I'm not going to tell you how many, I will show you how to do a few. So yarn over, and we're going straight into that first stitch here, pulling up a loop. So we've got 3, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over into your next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over into your next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over into your next stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. I'm going to keep going to the end, and I'm going to keep going until the corner, and I will show you what to do in the corner. I've done the amount of trebles the book says to do, and I'm at my first corner. Into the corner we want to do 1 treble, so yarn over into that space, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. We're then chaining 3, 1, 2 and 3, and then yarn over back into that space to do another treble, so be yarning over, pulling through 2, yarning over and pulling through 2. We're then going to continue doing our trebles into the stitches. Remember, the magazine will tell you exactly how many you need to do. So into my first stitch, pulling through 2, pulling through 2, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now I'm going to keep going all the way around. The magazine will tell you exactly how many trebles you need. In the corners, remember it is 1 treble, 3 chains, 1 treble. I'll meet you at the end of the round. So I finished my stitches and I'm at my last corner. I want to do a treble into the corner space. I'll pull through 2 and pull through 2. After that, I want to chain 2, 1 and 2. I'm then going to join with a slip stitch into my 3rd chain. So there's my 3 chains. I want to go in through this one, pull through if it will, and then pull through again. We can now fasten that one off because all we need to do now is to add our white border. So to start the border, you want to join your white to any of the corner spaces. It doesn't matter which one. So I've gone ahead and done that already. And then I'm chaining 2. So 1 and 2. So after we've chained 2, we want to do a half treble into the corner space. So yarn over into the space, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through all 3 of those stitches. We're then going to do a half treble into each of the next 21 stitches. So yarn over into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through all 3. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, nearly there, 20 and 21. So we're at the corner and we need to do 2 half trebles, 2 chains, 2 half trebles. So into the space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. We're going to repeat that stitch again. We're then chaining 2, 1, 2, and then 2 more half trebles into that space. So I'm going to continue this off camera. It's 21 half trebles along the stitches. The corners are 2 half trebles, 2 chains, 2 half trebles. I'll meet you at the end of the round. So for the last corner, 2 half trebles into the space. 1 and 2. Chain 2, 1 and 2. And then we're joining with a slip stitch into our 2nd chain, which is just here. Pull that one through, pull that one through, and you can fasten off. So there you go, there is the Coco pink paper cut square in issue 28. That one's all finished. If you've enjoyed this one, please leave a like, leave a comment below, and if you subscribe, you'll get notifications of when the next video is uploaded. So I'll see you for the next video for issue 29. See you then.